Hello Rock Academy students, this is a video about chords and how to kind of make a chord up and how to what notes to press down, because they're people who play the guitar and the piano and other instruments will know that that this is a C major and that's a C minor. They'll know that that's a D major and that's a D minor. They'll know that that's an E major and that's an E minor. But you might be watching this and thinking, well, how do people know that? How do we work that out? And I'm going to show you now. We're going to have a look at it together. And I'm going to ask Lee to upload a couple of sheets, and hopefully most of you, if not all of you, hopefully will have the sheets now with the boxes, little boxes with the, we're going to figure out what the chords are and the notes and put them in the boxes, and then a little sheet of about semitones and stuff. So we looked in another video about semitones, so I'm not going to go too far over that. If you just go back to the other video that's already on this website, then you'll hopefully see that. But very quickly, a semitone is the note that is directly next to the note in question. So if we're going to go one semitone from C, it would be C sharp, and then a semitone from C sharp would be D. So it's kind of, you got to imagine that these notes here are longer and they cover the entirety of the key. It's sometimes a little bit tricky to kind of visualize it because they're short, so it kind of looks like that D would be next to C, and it is, but this note is in between. So any note that's in between, so these notes here there's no there's no flat or sharp here, it's just they're directly next to each other. So that's a semitone, and a full tone is skipping a note. So C to D would be a full tone, and then D to E would be a full tone, and then E to F would be a semitone. So yeah, so very quickly, C to C sharp, semitone, down to D, semitone, up to D sharp, semitone, down to E, semitone, da da da, semitone, 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 semitone. Right, cool. So tone, 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 semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay, cool. So hopefully that's okay. Sorry, bit much to explain. I know there's a lot to take in. All right, so when we're looking at a major chord, so any major chord we look at, we start off with the root note. So the root note is the name of the chord. So let's say, for instance, we're gonna look at C major. Okay, so we're gonna look for the root note of C major, which is C. Okay, so name of the chord is easy to remember. F major. F is our first note, so we have to find a starting note in order to find the other notes. So our starting note in A major would be A. Okay, same with G and all of them. So we start with our C, and what we're going to do for every major chord, so major and minor are slightly different, they sound different, and I'll show you how that is in a second. We're going to count from our starting note 4 semitones. Okay, so we don't count the starting note, we have that down, and then we're going to go straight to C sharp. So 1, 2, 3, 4 gives us our second note, or actually it's known as the third. So we've got our root, then we've got the third because it's the third above. Okay, so we had to count 4 semitones to get that. Now we're going to count from this note here, from the E, we're going to count 3 semitones. 1, 2, 3. There we go. C major. And it's always got the same 3 notes. There's a triad chord. There are different types of chords, and some of them are dominant 7th chords and 7th chords, and which obviously include more notes, but triad chords just include the 3 notes there. Okay, so let's do a couple more to get you kind of in the swing of it. So let's go to D. D major. So can you remember what it is? So we start off, find our starting note, which is D, because we're doing D major. So we're going to count 4 semitones. So I'm going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. So we're on this note here, which is F sharp, F sharp. Okay, so we've got our 2 notes there. Okay, so now from this note here, we're going to count 3 semitones. So exactly the same. It's the same formula for every major chord, every major triad chord that you're finding. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So D major is D, F sharp, and A. Cool. Okay, let's have a look at E major now. So we're going to go E major. So again, formula, same as the rest, and for all of the chords as well. Start on E, so that's our starting note because it's E major. E major, lovely. Right, so we're going to count 4 semitones to find our next note. So not going to count E major though, as the rest. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. So we're on G sharp. So from G sharp, we're going to count 3. 1, 2, 3. Wonderful. Okay, so not going to do any more. That is the same formula for all of them. So you could go to F sharp major. So an F sharp major would be F sharp. So you start on the F sharp and you count 3 semitones. So, and as I say before, if you just imagine that these black notes are longer and they take up the whole key, so you've literally got, you know, it just makes it a little easier perhaps to visualize. So just remember, if there's a black key, go up to the black key. So what was we doing? Oh yeah, F sharp, sorry, F sharp major. So come down because this note's directly next to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And our next note in that is A sharp. Okay. So from A sharp, we're going to count 3. 1, 2, 3. So F sharp, all sharps and flats in that chord. Cool. So let's have a very quick look at minor chords. So minor is slightly different. So I'm going to show you 2 ways. So the first way is basically the same as the first, only you swap over the 4 and the 3. So let's take C minor. Okay, so you start on C, that's our starting note, and instead of counting 4 semitones, we're going to count 3 for the first lot to find our second note or our third. So 1, 2, 3. So it sounds a little, you can hear it sounds different. And then we're going to count 4 semitones from this note here, from the D sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's still C and G, but this one is changed. The middle one has changed. Now let's do D minor. Okay, let's move along. So again, find our D. That's our starting note, our root note. And from there we're going to count 1, 2, 3 for D minor. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Now as you can see, again, the same as C minor and C major, D and A are still in the chord. It's just that F sharp no longer is. It's D because it's a minor chord. We've moved the middle finger again. Now to save you time, this is the case for all minor chords. So let's say for instance you know E major and you think, yeah, I like E major, I've gotten the hang of that now. To make it into a minor chord, all you do is flatten the middle note, this note here, and this is for all of the chords, right, by half a tone or half a semitone. Okay, same for F major, these two stay where they are. Just another way of doing it, another way of looking at it, you know, so it makes it, might make it easy, it might confuse you, so if it does, you can do it the other way. Now, getting to know the chords is as I said before, very, very important, because then it kind of means that you're getting to know where the notes are on the piano. And if you do want to start reading, which I completely encourage, I mean, there are so many different types of musician, and there are lots of people who don't read music and they're fantastic musicians. It doesn't mean that you can't play music if you don't read. It just, if you can read music, it means that avenues open up a bit more for when you, if you want to follow it, pursue it as a career, you know. So if you want to be, I don't know, play in bands and you know, be a session player or play in theatres, you know, then you'd need to be able to read music. Not playing in bands, I think that's very, but like session bands where you kind of get a phone call and, you know, can you come and play tonight? Brilliant, I'm sending over the music, that kind of thing. Yeah, so I've got a couple of friends who play a lot at the West End, and they the same. One of them got a phone call and said, you know, our guitarist is sick. Two guitarists actually have come down with COVID. Can you please come? And they sent him over the music, and he had to be able to read. So yeah, it's things like that really. But obviously, if you don't read, then that's okay. You can still play music and you can still enjoy it. But it's good to know where all the chords are. You know, really, it's, you know, get a familiar feel for the piano or guitar or whatever it is you're playing. So I'm going to stop waffling on now. If you go away and have a little practice that, and you with that formula, you can come up with the chords yourselves. It's all good. So enjoy, and if you have any questions, any kind of concerns or worries or anything, you can always get hold of me, or you can email Lee and he'll send you my number. All right, thanks, bye.